You know what it is. D47 all day for real, revisiting as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, continuing on with the wooden spoons, and we're up to a particularly bitter point in the wooden spoon history. And so you're not missing any crucial rugby league information, watching this video all the way through to the end as per always. So, right now, in my opinion, the fourth worst wooden spoon team of them all, of all time, and a wooden spoon team so poor, struggling so much, that they deserve to be in that bracket sort of thing. So, in my opinion, the worst ever wooden spoon team was in fact University, who, if you've been watching these videos, you'll know that they picked up 10 wooden spoons between the years 1920 to 1937 in Australian Rugby League. And if you can scroll through this wooden spoon playlist and find all those wooden spoons if you're interested. So University, in my opinion, the worst of the wooden spoon team, because they got 10 wooden spoons, including 4 consecutive wooden spoons, 1934, 35, 36 and 37. The second worst, Parramatta, who got 6 consecutive wooden spoons, 1956 to 1961. The third worst wooden spoon team, Western Suburbs, who got the 1998 and 1999 wooden spoon, just before they merged with Balmain at the end of the 99 season. And right now, Newtown JETS, who got 3 consecutive wooden spoons, 1976, 1977 and 1978. So, in my opinion, those 4 wooden spoon teams, easily the worst 4. Like, they head and shoulders above all the other wooden spoon teams. Obviously, like Newtown, because they got 3 straight wooden spoons, like that puts them in that category. And also, this was the beginning of the end for poor old Newtown. Very unfortunate, because they were a foundation team. They were one of the original Australian Rugby League teams in the first year, 1908. And they did have a lot of good times earlier on. They won the premiership in 1910, 1933, 1943, and 1930s, 40s and 50s. They were most of the time a very good team, very competitive, as well as winning those premierships, made some other grand finals too. But right near the end of their history, they got these 3 wooden spoons, 1976, 1977 and then 1978. And then in 1979, they finished only a little bit better and finished second last. 1980, they went a bit better and finished mid-table. 1981, they of course had their swan song year, their one great year where they made the grand final. They lost the 81 grand final to Parramatta 20 points to 11, but at least they made that one. Then in 1982, they slipped down the ladder and finished mid-table. And in 1983, they went all the way back down to where they were familiar and finished second last. And that was their last year before they went bankrupt and dissolved and became extinct at the end of the 1983 season. So these 3 straight wooden spoons are the beginning of the end for them. So, in 1976, 1977 and 1978, there were 22 games per season. So that's 66 games altogether. And during this time, Newtown managed just 7 wins and 1 draw and lost the other 58 out of 66 games. They lost 58 out of 66 games. And in this year, 1976, they won just 3 games and lost 19 from the 22 games. As you'd obviously expect, because they only won 7 games altogether in the 3 years. And their attack, they scored 264 points, but conceded a terrible 546 points for an against negative 282. And the try point scorers, not much better. The top try scorers, there was a player called Mark Wright, and he got 8 tries for them, not very much. And there was another player called Steve Hansard, who got 7 tries for them in 1976. Hansard also chipped in 5 goals, a total of 31 points. But that didn't make him the leading point scorer. The leading point scorer was in fact a player called Brian Robertson, and he got 2 tries, 37 goals, a total of 80 points. Remembering those 2-point tries were both 3-point tries, as they were at the time. And then obviously, the moment in the sun, there's obviously not many. So the only 3 games they did win in 1976, in round 1, Newtown had beaten Parramatta 28-25. In round 8, they managed to beat Cronulla 22-18. And then in round 12, their specific moment in the sun, they had a good win and beat Balmain 12-10 at Leichhardt. And Leichhardt, always a very difficult place to play, but that was obviously a one-off sort of performance. So after that win over Balmain in round 12, they then lost the last 10 consecutive games to obviously end up with a wooden spoon. But the actual embarrassing moment was the round 9 game. So in between some rare wins in round 8 over Cronulla and Balmain in round 12, in between that and round 9, they were pulverised by Manly 57 points to 6 at Henson Park, which is Newtown's home ground, in front of their disgusted home fans. They didn't get a single try in that game, just 3 penalty goals, and that was their 6 points. And Manly's 57 points came via 13 tries in the one game and 9 goals. And, like I just said, because tries were 3 points at the time, if tries were 4 points at the time, that actually would have been 70 points to 6. Actually would have been 70 points to 6, not just 57 points to 6. And to really emphasise just how unimpressed the fans were, there was only 2,825 fans present at Henson Park for that game when they were destroyed by Man of 57-9. They couldn't even get 3,000 home fans to their home games back then. So there you go. Newtown's 1976 wooden spoon, done and dusted. So obviously the next two, pretty much like the same lean pickings in 1977 and in 1978, before they eventually dissolved only 5 years later. Like I said, didn't get another wooden spoon in the last 5 years, but right here, these 3 straight wooden spoons, it was the beginning of the end for them, unfortunately. And if you're still watching all the way through to the end as requested, thank you so much for ongoing brutal support, not missing any crucial rugby league information. And you can always head over to my second channel, and that's called D47's Dad Jokes. And there's a ton of terrible dad joke shorts on there. And right here on the long form channel, serious business at all times, AM, PM, pop off. Know what it is. Thanks so much for watching D47.